Welcome back to From the Bench, everybody. As always, it's Eric, and today we're back with a PSA submission preview video. So essentially, you're going to get to see all 38 cards that I am sending away for this submission. It is 100% hockey, but there's some new stuff, some old stuff. There's a little bit of everything in this. This is going to be part of the value order. Essentially, I probably should have sent this out, I don't know, right after the National. I think I've only had like 2 cards since. I put it off. I was like, well, I'll wait on this. I'll wait on that. I got a card show, local card show coming up. Maybe I pick something up at the local card show that I can send off. I should have just sent it out once again. Just wasting time on my end, like I do on everything. But yeah, we'll turn the camera around. Backdrop, we got some of the stuff that I've graded recently. So we got the Jack Eichel. We got the Philip Rivers, my PC, and then another PC item, Gabe Landeskog. So we got very lucky that those two came back at 10. Eichel would have been nice if it came back at 10, but wasn't the case. Wasn't that fortunate, unfortunately. So get right into it, though. Once again, here's the stack. There's quite a few of them. Starting off, picked this up raw quite a while ago on eBay, on auction. It was one of the better looking ones, and the auto was half decent. Still a little streak in there, but I think the corners and everything else looked pretty good. So hoping for a 10 for that. I think that's a pretty good possibility. So there we go. Next up, teammate of his for many, many years, Sean Couturier. This guy was like a fantasy hockey legend for me for years and years and years in a Dynasty League. Guy just put up a ton of points for me. Once again, on future watches, usually I'm looking for pretty bold autos. This one got one of those bold autos right there. So I was pretty happy about that. Once again, think that contend. That was actually in the same auction. The guy that was auctioning them, this is like 3 months ago plus, was auctioning off like a ton of both the guys. So I kind of just picked which ones I like best. I think I lost out on 1 or 2, but once again, here it is. Next up, Bruins are good. I hate to admit it, but the Bruins are good. Charlie Coyle is on those Bruins. So if they do well, Bergeron's gone now. A couple other guys are gone. Maybe he gets a little more love. So it's in a Minnesota uniform, but still. Charlie Coyle, got one of those. Got one of these. Same thing. They're all pretty clean for the most part. Don't really have a whole lot of complaints. They don't really have the chipping that you sometimes see on some of the McKinnons and stuff I've graded. And then last but not least is this one. So 3 of them, hoping all 10s, but I think, 2 of the 3 should definitely 10. Once again, I have been wrong before, but I think that's kind of the thing. Most of those I was picking up for like $5 raw, 2 to 5 to 10. I picked up a couple at the Expo, which is why I should have recorded this right after the Expo. I would remember the price a little better, but yeah, essentially, they, I think I got them for $5 a piece maybe at the Expo, and even like negotiated down off that because I bought 10 cards or something. So another guy, different team, different uniform nowadays, but Mika Zibanejad, one of the dumbest trades in the history of the Ottawa Senators. That's saying something because they traded for my boy Matty Duchene and lost a pick, and anyways, the rest is history. But Mika Zibanejad is another one of those. Just think he's a good player. I think there's obviously a collector base probably for him, and he's a good player. Not probably a ton of pop count of those if I get a PSA 10 on that. Next up, another older card, Shea Weber. I picked this up in a trade with Jared. This is how old this is. I made a trade with Jared for a Peyton Manning that I sold like months and months and months ago. This was a part of that trade. This and there's I think 1 or 2 other cards in here that were part of that like trade, and I think that was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So it should have been out a long time ago, this order. But Shea Weber, very popular defenseman. I could see it come back at 9, but taking a chance, maybe get a 10 out of it. Once again, just guy, a lot of love for him. Obviously, when he kind of retire the way he did, it's not as exciting, but still think there's probably a little bit of a collector base for him. One of my big hits from Series 1 from this year. This has also been around for a while since Series 1 came out, a month and a half ago plus. But Yaroslav Askarov, Silver Outburst. It's actually in decent shape. This back edge, top edge is a little eh. The rest of the card's not bad. So I think Askarov's going to be good long term. I just think there's a lot of good things about him. So I picked up a couple Askarovs. I got a deluxe Askarov Young Guns 2 that I picked up. Sitting off to the side. It's not grade worthy, but it's still, deluxe out of 250 for a goalie that once he gets his chance, I think he'll do pretty good. This was also part of the trade that I made with Jared at the Moncton Card Show, once again, months and months ago. Young Guns canvas of Jason Robertson, having a little bit of a down year. Just not as much excitement about him, just because of the team. The team's actually playing pretty well, but he struggled a little bit to start, so he's always trying to get his footing back. Jason Robertson, I think the kid's good. I think he's got a lot of upside, and he doesn't have a whole lot. Wyatt Johnston's there to take a little bit of the hobby love off him, but I think he'll be the 1A, Johnston be the 1B, and then Miro Haskinen's a defenseman, so he's not really going to steal a lot. Jake Ottinger's the goalie, so like I said, for forwards, it's essentially going to be him and Wyatt Johnston right now for a little bit. Can't remember where I got this. Picked up at some point. Maybe it was on eBay or something. I have no idea. Maybe I pulled it from something. Can't remember. But it's an Ilya Sorokin. This year just grades really well. It's a high gem rate, so take my chance at a top 5 goalie in the league. Doesn't have a crazy fan base when it comes to, should probably sell for more when you look at guys like Sorokin and Vasilevsky and all these other guys. I think he's right up there with them, but that's just not how the hobby works sometimes. So next up, we got Lucas Reichel. Just canvas. You guys know my thing on canvas cards. Do they sell for as much as the regular Young Gun? No, in a PSA 10, but the chance of them coming back in a 10, especially for this year, for 2022-23, I don't really grade a whole lot for 2022-23 because they're all in bad shape. I think that's going to get a 10. Continuing on, Owen Power. I think this will get a 10. Once again, canvas. I know I sold one a little while ago on my eBay page. If you guys aren't yet, down below, you guys want to follow my eBay page or go check some stuff out. I always have stuff for sale down there. If you also want to, not deal with eBay and send me a message on Instagram, be more than happy to do that. See if we can kind of help each other out. It's one of those things though, a $100 card, I'm not going to give it to you for $50 shipped. If it's $100 on eBay, just probably not going to happen. I could sell it for, $87 on eBay. Just putting that out there. eBay also right now with their shipping charges for through them or whatever, you print off the label and everything. It's I can get it shipped to the States for $8 most times. It's crazy. It's one of the best things that happened. Next up, we got the black. Pretty sure I pulled this. I must have, because I don't think I would have. Yeah, I pulled this out of a hobby box. Black canvas of Andrei Kuzmenko. Might not be the prime guy. That's the only problem you get into this kind of stuff. He's an older rookie, so he's 1996. But people still like him. Canucks have played well as of so far. Now we'll have to see in 2 months, but it's just a black canvas. And a lot of these have really bad chipping and peeling and stuff. The top and everything else. This one doesn't have it, so again, shorter print of a desirable rookie. May as well try it. Guy that isn't super desirable. Maybe he'll pop off at some point. Shane Wright. Canvas. I actually have a black canvas PSA 10 of his for sale. He's not getting a ton of hobby love. Once again, he hasn't really done a whole lot exciting. But he has a 4th overall pick. Did have that exceptional status at one point in juniors. So I think once again, canvas cards, I'm always going to say it. I think they're just going to get 10s. That's why I'm sending them. If I don't send a canvas card, it's because they're easy to tell. It's a corner issue is pretty much the only thing with the canvas cards. Maybe an indent or something like that, on the surface. But for the most part, if you just look it over, The surfaces are good. The edges are usually pretty good. Corners are the only thing you kind of want to look at to see if they have any issues. So next up, trying again at a 2022-23 Young Gun. Hoping to get a PSA 10 out of this. Yuri Slafkovsky. I don't see any print lines on the surface. Sometimes you get print lines that come along here or underneath. And while I was looking, I was like, okay, centering's good, that's good, corner's good, edges are actually good. And sometimes you get some of these print lines. I got one, Matty Beniers, that definitely has a big one there. Card looks good. Otherwise, and you turn it like the right light, it's like, oh, okay, there's that issue. So, otherwise, if you're just looking at the card, it looks fine. Getting into some of the Expo pickups. So, first one, this could definitely come back a 9 just from the top to bottom centering. But a lot of them with this exact same centering come back 10s. So, trying. Auto, once again, pretty clean auto there. That's just, I don't know what that was, fuzz or something. Clean auto. Once again, if you guys watch the channel for a while or follow me on Instagram, I really like Mason McTavish. I think the kid's going to be really good. A lot of good things for him. Super young, 3rd overall pick, you name it. He's got it, plays both ways. Has represented Team Canada, was obviously stopped that goal to, for Canada eventually win the gold medal in the World Juniors. So Mason McTavish gets my vote of approval every single time. I picked that up raw for $375 at the Expo. Trying my luck with these two. One of these was bought at the Expo, and one of them I bought online on eBay. I had 2 bought at the Expo. One of them had the print line down here that runs down the side. These ones look pretty good. I think one might have the print line. I'm trying to see if I can get it through with the print line. I think it's this one. Anyways, just once again, it's Mason McTavish. Like him. I think he's got a big future, and once again, they're like a $15, $20 card, $30 card, whatever. Raw, you get a 10. They're like $140 Canadian right now. So good chance that maybe that works out in my favor. Next up, another Expo pickup. Got this out of one of the value bins. You guys would have seen it in, I think, the day 2 video. I think it was day 2 video. Chandler Stevenson, big name, plays for the Vegas. Vegas doesn't have a ton of hobby love, mostly probably because a lot of their guys that are on Vegas that are really good aren't in Vegas uniforms for their Young Guns and stuff and future watches. So once again, thought I'd try a Chandler Stevenson, see if I can get a 10 on it. It looks pretty good overall. This back edge, top edge is, might get me a 9, but hoping the guy's nice there that day and his girlfriend didn't break up with him and maybe I'll get a 10. Next up, Dougie Hamilton. Just taking a shot. Once again, guy doesn't have a huge pop count for this stuff. Overall pretty good card. All the corners are pretty good. Centering's good. You name it, is PSA 10 quality, I think. So kind of hope to get that. Same thing. Sometimes you get some scratches and stuff on this foil, or it's even chipped off there. Like I said on a lot of McKinnon's, this one doesn't have that. So centering, good shape. Hoping for that 10. Going off some old sets here once again. Joel Eriksson Ek. It's number 3, 4, whatever, over in Minnesota, but he's just a guy that puts up points, seems like every single night for them. I like Matt Boldy, big fan of him, but Joel Eriksson X just put up the points too right now, and still decently young. Like this guy is 97, so he's younger than Kuzmenko, who is just a young gun. Just want to put that out there. Younger than Kuzmenko, 1997, so we're talking this year he'll be 27, right? Is that right? I just did the math. Yep, it's 27. It'll be 27 this year, this January. So by the time I get this back, depending on when this gets back, 8 weeks to 11 weeks essentially. Could be looking at he's just turned 27, so still recent, decently young overall. Had this pulled for me in a break, I believe by Breezy the Breaker. Not having the year that a lot of people were hoping. This guy was like actually pretty popular going into the season. Hasn't really had it yet. Hasn't really popped off the way some people have hoped. I think Evangelista's grabbed some of his time and everything else. We'll get to him in a minute. But you never know if he starts popping off again. And it's a clear cut. It's a young gun. He's still decently young. So even if, he might get some hype for next year. Once again, just clear cut. If I can get a PSA 10, it looks pretty good overall. Sometimes on clear cuts, you get some like roller marks, everything else. I didn't really see any on this. So kind of hope to see if I can do anything. There's a Matt Boldy that I was looking at that I picked up raw. I thought about it, but it's got a couple it's acetate. It's clear cut that they have issues. So getting into some of the stuff from this year, Tyson Forrester. Once again, one of those kids. He's cheap right now overall, but I think he has the potential to be pretty good, and he's super young. So January he'll be 22 by the time this comes in, but a 22-year-old kid. Young gun, I'll take that every day of the week. I'm just seeing that top edge. Did I miss that? I might actually send this. This might get deleted. I think that top edge, how did I not notice that? Okay, this is going in the maybe prop pile. Did I not notice that somehow? Anyways, good thing I do this video. Another guy, Luke Evangelista. I just think I like him a lot, especially for the price. I'm going to try to grade some of his stuff here. So centering's good overall. Some of these have like some chipping at the top. This one doesn't have it. A little bit on the top edge, on the back. It is what it is. But hoping, once again, pull a 10 out of that. See if I can do it. Next up. Get this. I was picking these up for $20 essentially at the expo. So trying to see test my luck, getting these for $20. Once again, Silver Outburst. I like the new parallel. I just like the thought process behind them, right? Just do a little bit of a parallel, not numbered, but once again, kind of like a silver for football or basketball. Essentially do that. It's something that also resonates with other sports, right? But you kind of do the outburst, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a different flair to it. So I like that thought process behind them. Liked it so much that I did it again. So I'll get two of these. Once again, just $20 a piece, I think is what I paid for both of them at the expo. Just something that I think that is going to be worth it down the road. Next up, I get two of these, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it's this one. This one was pulled by Breezy the Breaker. Shout out Breezy over on Whatnot. Pulled this. It's pretty self-explanatory. Jack Hughes, these have a super high gem rate. So I'm going to take my chance at it. See what I can do. Hopefully get back a 10 for that. And this one was picked this up at the expo. This one was a BGS Beckett raw grade. So it's the ones that are just like in this exact same thing, but it has a label over top of it. It was a BGS 9.5. Only thing with this one was the top edge was a little meh, but I tried to clean up as good as possible. Once again, when compared to a lot of other years, especially recent ones, this is pretty good. So went back to back with Jack Hughes. Picked this up at my local hobby shop. Dylan Larkin, the captain over there for the Detroit Red Wings, having a pretty good year. Just got Patty Kane and all the other stuff. But it's a canvas card. It's a young gun. See if I can get a 10 on that. I've had this for a bit. Trevor, my buddy, he submitted with me last time. He came back with a 10 on his. So I'm trying to get a 10 on mine for my Adrian Kempe. We got Wi-Fi. Same thing. Had a black version of this. Traded it at the expo. It was a PSA 10. It's a canvas card. It's a young gun. It's a Canadian player. Like I said, you don't see a whole lot of defensemen in this. There's a reason. I kind of said before, newer defensemen, I don't really like grading a whole lot of them, just because their values just don't really usually hold up that well. So, Luke Evangelista, I picked this up somewhere, don't know, but A little bit of an issue, but just going to try to push it through. Maybe get a 10 on it, but overall, not that bad. I just think the kid, I know they benched him for one game. Came back, I think he had no points the next game, then had 3 points. And so I really like the kid. I think he has a lot of upside going forward. Does play in Nashville, but everyone always says that. I've said this before. I plan on doing videos for this stuff. But, there's lots of guys. Kirill Kaprizov has a huge fan base. When has there ever been a collector base? When was there ever a player out of Minnesota that had a huge collector base before that? Not really. Trevor Zegras, when was the last time that they had that for the Ducks? Haven't really since like Getzlav, and even then his stuff isn't crazy, right? So there's all these guys. Everyone always says all these teams, and this one doesn't. Yes, obviously the Toronto and the Montreals and stuff do good, but just because you're not in those big cities doesn't mean that you can't have, your players, have a good collector base at the same time. Owen Power, once again, trying again for the 2022-23 set. I haven't had any luck when it comes to grading this stuff, but thought I'd give it a chance. Kent Johnson, canvas. Once again, pretty self-explanatory. Canvas card of a guy that I believe he's down in the AHL, but was playing really well down there last time I checked. I talked crap on defenseman. Brock Faber, thought I'd give it a chance. Minnesota. Big thing about him is he played for the University of Minnesota, I believe. So he's got a big fan base because he's a local kid that now, he's from Minnesota, played college hockey in Minnesota, now plays for the Wild. So he's got all that stuff kind of going for him. But Brock Faber, let's going to pick this up. I got this for like really cheap. Was like mislabeled. I think I get this on a base off the person. Was mislabeled. Everything else, I just shot them an offer. It was on like an auction, and I sent them an offer, and they accepted it. So I think I got this for like super cheap, like $10, $12, maybe under $15, something like that. It's a new parallel. Everything else out of 250. Number 19 out of 250. This top corner is a little meh, but I thought I'd try to send it anyways. Once again, get it in a slab. Maybe they're nice to me. That's why I kind of put it at the end of the order too. When I get anything that's a little rougher, I usually try to put it at the end of the order, hoping that they're a little nicer through the rest of it. And then when they get to the end, if they're like, okay, whatever, they just don't see that first, and then they start trying to nitpick all my cards. So that's just a little thing I do. I don't know if it works. Who knows? This I picked up online on eBay, got it in. It's decent. I don't have a PSA 10 base Mikko Rantanen. I have his canvas. I graded, I think, last time, but wanted to try to get his base. I picked up a lot over time, but none have really been in good shape. This one's actually not too bad. And last but not least, I just talked about him, but Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov, adding to that massive pop count of his. That's what this is. He's got a gigantic pop count. I think it's like 3,000, 4,000, whatever it is, PSA 10s. They gem really well. This was a HGA 9.0. Trying for that PSA 10. It looks pretty clean overall. This top edge maybe is the only thing. I might have to like take that out real quick and try to get whatever that is off that. But once again, just has a high gem rate, and he sells well. I think I picked that up for $50 US, something like that. Cracked it, clean it up, sent it out. It's gonna cost me, I'm into for like $65, $70. I'll be into it for like $100, give or take. And then by the time once it gets back to me after the $100, you can sell it for 140, 150 probably, give or take. So I'm gonna just try to make some money. But that's it. That's my entire submission. I'm pretty excited for it. It's my second submission ever that I put together just for myself. Once again, should have done this a month ago. The only difference was I wouldn't have had the Kirill that I got in from a mail day, and I wouldn't have the Mikko. Everything else there is the same from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it is what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoy this though. Today wearing the For the Brand Pat McAfee shirt. I know some people don't like him. He's on ESPN now. I've watched him for like years now. People friends of mine, and like, I saw that Pat McAfee guy you're always talking about and watching. I saw him on like TSN, and I'm like, yeah, he's on ESPN now. Like he's he's on there for 2 hours and does the last hour and a half, whatever it is, on YouTube. And he does a whole show on YouTube, but he continues the last hour and a half. I don't understand some people don't like him because of his like style. I don't understand how you just don't like the guy. He's just a nice guy. He gives away money, gives back to people, gives back to charities. It is what it is. Even I always joke, like, he literally ends every thing by saying, "Be a friend, tell a friend something nice today. It could change it could change their life." Like, that is the most like wholesome thing, and it's true. And I've talked about mental health and stuff on here before. Especially a lot of guys don't want to talk about stuff. But yeah, just be a friend, tell a friend. Just be nice. Just, you don't have to go out of your way. Just tell somebody something nice that could really change your day. Right? There's a lot of people deal with a lot of inner thoughts, and once again, I'm always gonna rep the Pat McAfee for the brand stuff. Let's just say a guy that I like. I think he does everything really well. I think that's what you need. That's why I like Chicklets, because they actually talk to players and kind of have people actually have good interviews and everything else. Interviews typically sitting down in a black room somewhere. Those don't interest me at all. Don't care about that at all. Get an actual guy just talking with the boys and talking about experiences and stuff. That's how you make content. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, this is going to be 2 months from now. I will get these back. Hopefully, I'm saying this, what is today? Today is November 30th. So this will go out tomorrow. Tomorrow is, nope. Oh, it's the 30th, because it's now 12 o'clock. So yeah, this is going to go out on the 30th of November. I'll keep you guys updated on when it comes back to me. Last order was 11 weeks. That was a little longer than I've usually had. Usually I'm right around that like 2 month time frame. So I should get this back end of January. Get that back. Hopefully back like a couple weeks before Bedard's Mania. Everything else. By the time you're watching this, I've either done a video on Clouts and Chara, whatever the heck their name is, or it's coming out tomorrow. One of the two. I'm recording these back to back. I'm deciding what one I'm going to put out first, but probably the Clouts and Chara. So go check that out. There's a bunch of drama revolving around their pre-orders, and I'm sure other people coming out in the next little bit for Series 2 that's going to involve Connor Bedard and all the hype. So hope you guys enjoy this. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for Erica from the Bench. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.